Let me show you pain.
Thomas here with Much Props, going to give you another how-to video. Today we are once again building something from Transformers. My Optimus Prime got a lot of views the other day, and I thought maybe that's something you want to see a little bit more of, so I thought I would go old school again and do Optimus Prime's rival, of course. We are going to do Megatron, but in the old style with a little bit of new flair, doing similar to what we did with Optimus Prime, adding panels and rivets and all that other kind of stuff. I did make a template just like Optimus Prime. It is very large, but if you follow the video, it should be relatively simple in terms of assembly. So today we are going to build a Megatron from Transformer. Let's get to building.
Just like the Optimus Prime build, there are a lot of parts to this build. Breaking it up into chunks makes it a lot easier, so I'm assembling the helmet first, then the face, then adding the detailing. I thought since I did a more classic Optimus Prime that I should do a more classic style Megatron. The modern version has a lot more layers and is less boxy. The old school version looks like a guy with a square wig on. I added some darts to these parts to help with alignment. The face of Megatron is more person-like in the old version and puts together pretty simple. Certain parts are marked with blue highlights. These indicate angle cuts on my templates. Usually this is so that there's a nice sharp angle on that section, so pay attention to any parts that may have highlights. The side front piece helps secure the helmet top to the face. I centered the face to the helmet by eye. You have to be careful because the contact cement grabs a hold. That's why you see me bend up this part in order to prevent the sides from touching. Now I'm going to start adding extra stuff and combining different generations of the character. My thought process is to just fill in blank areas and give interest to flat surfaces. Also, this is a prime example of why you should mark your parts. I got my right and left mixed up, and that's why you see me fumbling with the parts here. The early version of Megatron did not have all these panels. It does use up more material and add weight to the build, but I think it makes it look more interesting overall. I often position parts onto my props and draw outlines. This does three things for me. It saves me on the amount of contact cement I use, it helps me with positioning, and it also limits the amount of cleanup I have to do around that particular part. I added these parts to the bottom to close up the helmet and kind of level up the chin with the helmet. I also think it just makes your build look more substantial in thickness and makes it look more realistic. I draw on all the panels so that once again it's just adding layers of detail to the prop. You could cut them out and re-glue them recessed in, but I really am getting comfortable using a wood burner on foam. Two coats of Plasti-Dip. The original color scheme was light gray or like an off-white color. I wanted to be closer to my Optimus, so I dirtied it up with a lighter mist of silver first. Then to add contrast on all my details, I added red, light silver, and gold. The burn indents help me to keep my paint within areas and makes it a lot easier. Then after that, I added acrylic washes to age it even more. A few people suggested I add lights to Optimus Prime, so I thought I would try and do that for this one. I used a string of LED Christmas lights, some transparent red film, and some translucent EVA to diffuse the lights. It's hard to see what I'm doing in this portion of the video, but basically I'm drilling out holes for the bulbs to sit in, and then I'm hot gluing them into place. On the front side pieces where this will be glued in, I added the translucent EVA to the back of the film in order to diffuse the light more evenly. I also do this on the eyes and then cut out a circle so that I can actually see through. It all glows pretty good when I don't have super bright studio light shining in my face.
And we are finished. Here is the end result. Overall, I think it turned out pretty cool, pretty unique. I took the old school version with it almost looks like a old-timey wig on a face, basically is what Megatron looked like back in the day. I took that and kind of played around with it, adding panels and stuff, and there wasn't really any rhyme or reason, just like with Optimus Prime, except, filling in those blank spaces was something of interest. That's kind of how I played with the paint scheme a little bit. In the original that I used to watch as a kid, he was more of a white color, but I know that was more likely they're trying to make him look chrome because he was metal. But you can paint this however you want. I just chose to kind of put my own spin on it and highlight certain panels in red and gold and a little brighter silver. I think it looks pretty good. I also added lights to it. It's kind of hard to see with studio lights on them, but there is a light inside here, on the back here. His eyes do light up. That's a transparent EVA that kind of diffuses the light across his eyes, and then the circle in the middle is the actual hole you see through. But overall, I think it turned out pretty cool. Maybe you will try and make one of these yourselves and impress your friends with your big robot head building skills. Sure. Maybe you'll get some.
Yay!
And inevitably, they're going to ask you, how'd you make that? You can give them one of these. Tell them, much props. Do I turn evil if I put this on?
Victory is mine! Death is yours!